What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel. You clicked this video, you know what I'm about to say. Yes, you can play Stevie Ray Vaughan on a Les Paul. Let's go. So, growing up, there was always Stevie Ray Vaughan, Rory Gallagher, Eddie Van Halen, even some Santana around the house. My dad loved Stevie, and I was always subconsciously aware of Stevie. And when I started playing guitar on my Squier Strat, I just noticed that it takes a lot of force and a lot of strength to play his music and his licks. So naturally I couldn't do it in the beginning, and I think I really started listening to Stevie and checking his stuff out when I was 16, when I already bought my Epiphone Les Paul. So I had a Strat and a Les Paul, and the Epiphone was quickly my go-to guitar. I had spent all this time trying to emulate Carlos Santana, so I needed a humbucker guitar. It was just out of curiosity, or maybe just because I didn't have anything else around the house that was good enough, that played good enough, that I started playing Stevie Ray Vaughan on Les Paul back when I was 16. Mainly also because my Strat was always in repairs, or it just fell apart. I had to replace the bridge of my Squier Stratocaster for 3 times, so it's 27 years old, so you know, it's been used. I always thought that you needed a certain guitar to sound a certain way, until somewhere in my 20s I noticed that the Gibson Les Paul that I had back then, the Gibson Les Paul Classic that I sold, I put it into a Fender Twin or a Tweed, I don't remember which one, but it sounded like a Strat, like a fat Strat. I didn't know what happened. Started experimenting with it, and I found online that some guys actually confirmed this, that a good Les Paul sounds like a meaty Telecaster, and so you have the front pickup that can sound a little bit like the front pickup of a Strat. So that means all your Stevie Ray Vaughan licks are also playable on a Les Paul. I started experimenting with this, and I quickly noticed that not all Les Pauls are created equal. I said this multiple times on the channel already. Not all Les Pauls are created equal. I think that there are more biters and more moaners, like Joe Bonamassa says. And I have 2 examples here in my collection, and I'm going to showcase that point, because the vintage Les Paul that I have has that extra twang to it, and I have my other Epiphone, my beloved Epiphone that's been with me for 20 years. It's got Jim Root pickups in it, so it's a little bit more of a metal guitar. That guitar always had a little bit more of a rounded off sound, and just good for just more rock, really, and just straightforward and more compressed. You'll hear the difference. I really think that the Epiphone is more suited for rock. That my vintage Les Paul sounds more. It can sound like a Telecaster. It can sound like a P90 equipped guitar. I fooled actually a couple people with it. They thought I was playing a P90, but it's not. If I recall correctly, there are Gibson pickups in my vintage Les Paul. They are the 498 and the 490, I believe. They are a little bit hotter than the regular 57 Classics, which are good pickups too. You know, the only thing that you need is CTS pots, 500K pots, a set of good pickups, usually Gibson. Then you could do some cap replacements, you know, bumblebee caps or anything like that. I didn't do that with my Les Paul. It sounded pretty okay. So yeah, it's a little bit of a controversy to play Stevie on a Les Paul, but back in the day, these guys didn't care. They just needed a guitar to do their job. They didn't really care if it was a Les Paul or a Strat. They didn't really care about what kind of instrument they had. They had a tool to do the job, and that's it. That's a little bit what I'm trying to do with this video. That's the point I'm trying to make. It doesn't really matter what kind of guitar that you have. It matters in certain aspects, but you have to play with intention. If I would only have my Epiphone and I would have to play a Stevie Ray Vaughan gig or a blues gig, I'll make it work. What matters is to play with intention and to think behind a note. So case in point, I guess, you know, you can play Stevie licks on a Les Paul, and I don't care what everybody says, if it's good or not, if you're not allowed to do it or anything. I think this guitar, my vintage Les Paul, sounds pretty good, and I love playing Stevie on that stuff, so yeah, I'm gonna use that guitar a little bit more. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. I'm gonna do more of these videos where I deep dive a little bit more in my history with some of these great guitar players. I'm still writing my album, of course, Blood Orange. I hope that I can do another video tonight, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers. Have a great weekend. Adios.